So sorry guys, I left you off on a little bit of a cliffhanger on the last one. It was mainly due to some fairly significant changes that have affected the class that I was planning on running in. So I run under SCCA time trials rules. This car is a max class car. So last year we ran under different sanctioning bodies rules. We all decided to go with CACC time trials. Kind of had the car fairly well built for what I thought that class was going to be. And I was building this K20, K24 Frank motor because it was stock parts and wouldn't bump me up another class. Unfortunately, with the changes in the SCCA time trial rule class for max, my car currently with the K20A2, because it is internally stock, or sorry, shouldn't say that. Let me go back. Okay, so the way the classes are broken down, SCCA time trials, max is broken down into 5 classes. Max 5, light car, small displacement. Max 1, heavy car, big displacement, big horsepower. This car with a stock K20A2 motor would be max 4. Now, if I was to do anything to the internals of this motor, that would bump me to max 3. This K24 K20 motor that I'm building will bump me to max 3 because it's a motor put together of parts that did not originally come in a K24 motor. Meaning that I'm putting the K20A2 head onto it, I'm putting later series TSX cams into it, ARP head studs, all that kind of stuff. And that's enough to bump me up 1 class. The downside of going to max 3 though is that Porsche GT3s fit into that class with their displacement and weight. This car, unfortunately, even with this K20, K24 Frank motor, is not going to be able to match the times on my local track that a Porsche GT3 does. They're about 3 seconds a lap faster than me. I'm hoping with this Frank motor build that I'll maybe pull half a second, maybe on the very extreme end, 1 full second a lap off. I'm not going to be anywhere near these GT3s. So, downside, good side of going into this class, though, is there's a whole bunch of other Honda K-swaps in that class with varying degrees of built motor. Some high comp, some like mine, some have just had some minor work done to them, so there should be some decent competition in that class. My worry with Max 4 is it looks like there's only going to be 1 or 2 people all year running in that class, and I really don't want to run in a class without a lot, or with limited competition. I don't think a win is a win without having decent competition, so yeah, we're probably going to bump up into Max 3 with this new motor, which is fine. But in the meantime, the reason why I left the last video off kind of on a cliffhanger where I did is this K20A2 motor that I currently have here is completely stock. It's got 400,000+ kilometers on it right out of an RSX Type S, but when I did it, I put all new timing gear in it, so chain, tensioners, guides, the whole deal, just to get the old stuff out of there and try to make it reliable. And I put SuperTech titanium retainers and valve springs in. Now, if I was to take this car as it is out to a time trials event under the CACC rules, I'd be in max 3 anyways. This motor is going to make significantly less power than that K20, K24 Frank motor that I'm building. So, and since I'm at the point now with this cylinder head where I'm ready for valve springs and stuff like that, my plan is to pull the SuperTech valve springs and retainers out of this K20A2 that is currently in my car and use it in the Frank motor that I'm building, the K20, K24 motor. So, over the weekend, I got a little bit of spare time and I just hammered through on this thing. I got part of the way through removing everything to do this swap, the valve spring swap, but I should have documented it. I'm sorry, I had my son out here helping me and I was focused on trying to get this all done, so I didn't really document a lot of it. There is some great tutorials on cam swaps in K-Series. Speed Academy did a really good one with their budget EK track car. I think K20 helped them with that. And there's a couple others. So there's lots of tips and tricks. I'm at the point now where, I'll show you here. I've just got the valve cover on here holding, just keeping debris out, but I've got, you can see the timing chain is pulled back here and held out of the way. And I've got, let me see if I can get this off here. I've got the valve train exposed. So these are the SuperTech Beehive valve springs and titanium retainers that I'm going to work on getting out. So this chain, if this was a stock motor, I would want to keep tension on this up all the time to keep the chain from popping off the bottom cog. But when I put this motor together, I put a drag cartel chain retainer on the bottom on the crank, so the chain physically can't slip or can't drop off the teeth on the bottom. So I'm not worried about that here. So that makes it a little bit easier for me. So what we're going to do is, in this episode, I'm going to carry on from where I am now. I'll maybe do a quick run through of how I got here. I really don't want to spend a lot of time doing that though, because I think those other channels document it really well. And I don't think I'd do a good job of explaining it to you. I'm more of a hands-on one. So what we'll do from here is we're going to put the valve spring removal tool on here, and I'll show you how to remove these valve springs and retainers from this motor in the car. And as I do this, I'm going to take the stock ones that I pulled out of that other K20 A2 head that we're putting on the front on the K24 bottom end, and we'll put those ones back in this place. So essentially what we're doing is we're turning this motor back into a Max 4 legal motor. So we're going to get that done. Hang in there and I'll show you how we're going to do this. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, that's a few days later after my last comment. I've actually been waiting for a couple tools to come in to complete this, so this video is probably going to be late. We're going to pull out the SuperTech valve springs and titanium retainers from my K20 A2 motor to put into the Frank motor. So my son Harrison is here to help us today.
Hi.
Good job. So we're gonna try to do this. What I've done so far is I've got the motor at top dead center. I've pulled the spark plugs out. I've confirmed that this number 1 and number 4 are at top dead center. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my spring removal tool on here, and the valves won't drop into the cylinders because the piston's up. So they'll just come and sit on the piston if they drop. These ones here at bottom dead center, so we'll have to do something different for those. So we'll get started here and see what we can do. Okay, so here is the tool that we're going to use to remove the valve springs. I got this on Amazon, or well, they're available on Amazon. I got this one used on Marketplace, but yeah, this basically just bolts right on top here. I think I showed it in one of my other videos, but we'll get this bolted on and see if we can remove some of these valve springs. Okay, so bad news. This Amazon spring removal tool, the titanium spring retainers on the SuperTech valves are too small, and they actually go inside of this cup, so we can't release the pressure on the keepers. Not sure what I'm going to do here. I'll be back in a little bit. Say bye, Harrison.
Bye.
Okay, so obviously fail. I'm not sure what I need to do here. I guess I need to get another valve tool or build some kind of collar that goes into that one that I have so that it grabs the retainer, the titanium retainer, to push it down. Because right now that one that I have just grabs the spring and pushes the spring down, and it doesn't put any force on the retainer. So yeah, I need to reevaluate, stop please, and come up with some kind of solution to this. I'm not sure what my next video is going to be, but yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Bye, see you next time on the next video.